So, on the first turn, red starts shipping their ships back. Blue conglomerates Terra, and what happens? The battlecruiser moves to here, the only place it could move. The Doomsday Machine split up. One goes into the black hole and dies. Should that happen? Should it not? It's not clear in the rules. You got to kind of make things up when you go. And this would be a good way to destroy these Doomsday Machines, is to trick them into going into something like that. So it seems to me it should be part of the game. It's, again, an ambiguous situation. But that leaves only one Doomsday Machine. Red should be able to handle that pretty easily, and Blue's feeling pretty unhappy about the action that they took. They should have just charged in and taken the loss, but they need to save their ship, they feel. Okay, on to the next one. So here's the fleet that Red will face the Doomsday Machine with, and it's up 2 bases, 4 fighters. These are all going to fire at A level. A battleship, which is humongous. It's not as big as the base, but that's going to be the core of their attack eventually. And a bunch of these system shipyards. Against that is the Doomsday Machine, which Blue is looking at this and saying, you know, I'm in trouble. Red's outproduced me. There's no way I can crack them. They've got a fairly viable fleet back up here, and they've got this huge buildup. I think they can destroy me, and I don't know what to do because they've got the production advantage now. They're actually growing, and I'm not. They're able to hammer me. Okay, so let's take a look at the firing. I haven't looked at a Doomsday Machine for a while. I know they're 9.2. They fire at Class C, so it may be gone before anything happens. So we got a 5, a 6 for the base. It does 2 hits on the Doomsday Machine. It only has, what, 1 more left, I think. And the fighters, 4 dice at 6, 4. They don't hit. And then the battleship has a die at 4 as well. And it doesn't hit. So I've got 2 hits on that Doomsday Machine. I think they take 3. I'm not positive. They're certainly really scary early in the game. This is hard to read without. Looks like it has hull size 3, so it's not destroyed yet. It gets 2 shots. Remember, they get 2 shots instead of other ships. Got 2 shots at 9. I feel like it's the battleship's the biggest thing, but I can't destroy it right away. But I'm going to go for the battleship, even though the fighters maybe are more valuable. 2 shots at 9. They go down to 7, 6. I only get 1 hit on the battleship, and the Doomsday Machine is showing itself to not be as potent a weapon as they had hoped. And now 4 shots here at 2. We get the last hit. The Doomsday Machine's been destroyed. And that's the end of really Blue's hope here that they'd be able to inflict sufficient damage to Red. Instead, they just forced Red to build quite a powerful fleet. And it's looking pretty scary from their point of view. The damage, of course, is cleaned up, as it is with any ship. And that was actually round 2. Having trouble keeping track of things. We're going on to round 3. And Red gets first move. I think they're going to go stomp this battlecruiser. So all we got here, Red moved into here to kind of block the battlecruiser and threaten this weaker colony. Force Blue to try to defend that if they want to, or else go destroy it if not. Meanwhile, they're pulling their own, their kind of raider fleet down. Blue can't afford to expand anymore. They have no safety back there. So they're going to just try to hold their cluster and see. Maybe they can break Red's attack fleet and then come back and get really lucky or something. But right now, their poor battlecruiser doesn't really have an easy place to go. There's a battleship here. There's a black hole here. The only difference, well, the thing is, had Red attacked here, Blue could have withdrawn to here after a round of battle. That battleship's only going to do 1 point of damage. So This looked like a safer effect. If blue comes into here, yeah, they can withdraw, but it's back to here, so they don't get anywhere. And this colony is, of course, a threat. We go on to another economic phase. Okay, nobody bid, so red got to choose. They choose first again. Colonies increase. Get Omicron growing. Got this one growing up to a 5. Blue continued building nothing but ships. Well, they spent 5 points on technology, which they're not sure they should have, but they want to get this hull size up. They don't think they can crack the red base planet without that big hull size bonus, and they're losing otherwise. They're going to wait, hopefully defeat the red fleet on a grand attack, and then counterattack. Red's taking things kind of cautiously, although not terribly so. They're building a big ship. They built a miner to increase their production, but they're going to wait until they get their fleet in place and try to hit with everything at once. They may take another turn's production before they do so. From the colony expansion, we're up to another turn. On the second turn, red made an abortive attack with the battleship and the 2 cruisers against here. The single base managed to get 2 hits on the battleship without taking any damage. So, red's pulled back from there. The carrier's back here refurbishing and grabbing some fighters. And we've got an attack on this colony here, which is successful. As well as finding some minerals, which we'll haul back for extra cash. We've already found another usable planet. And at this point, blue's thinking, if red's just going to start, hold off, if they're going to try to crack me and starve me out as much as they can, I'm doomed. They're going to be able to crack this is gone. They're going to be able to crack this with very little effort. It's just going to require sending their whole fleet after that. And it makes more sense than sending it after this because of the 2 base advantage that I've given to the home worlds accidentally. Meanwhile, their production's just going to increase and increase and increase, and there's nothing to favor the defender as technology increases. And blue's thinking, damn, I have my point defenses, but I'm not seeing a lot of fighters. I'm seeing these big, heavy ships. I've got problems. Anyway, we'll move on to the third. Well, blue gathered all their battle cruisers and attacked here where the colony is. Knowing there's a battleship here, and only a single one, the gang up seemed reasonable. Now, the battleship can probably destroy one of these battle cruisers before the battle cruiser fires back. So red's got a hard choice here. Do they want to try to face 3 battle cruisers? Well, probably is actually wrong. They've only got a 4 to hit it. And if they fail, they take 4 more shots against them. If they succeed, they take 3 more shots against them. 2 hits will take them down. So they're going to pull out of there, but they have a hard choice here. They can't go here or here because, well, there's stuff here, but also this was where one of the blue ships came from. Here's a black hole. That's nasty. They're going to go to an unexplored hex, which is allowed. And I have to sort those battle cruisers out. I think they're all the same. And the battleship is destroyed by that. Harsh. So it was a tough call, and they made a difficult decision there. So now red's down a battleship, which is kind of what blue was aiming for out of this. Of course, blue's stripped all their firepower off of this, which if red had succeeded to get here, it would have been very tempting for red to make an immediate attack on Terra. I don't know if it is now or not. I have to kind of roll a die on that one. Well, after the economics phase, surprisingly nobody actually bid on going first this time, and that's odd because blue, has their battle cruiser fleet off to the side here. Red's not going to attack blue this turn. Well, they're not going to attack here. That's not their plan. They spent money on a colony ship. They actually built up their battleship and their carrier. They're going to try to take this planet out as well now, or maybe this one, whatever. But they want to destroy blue's external areas while building up their own more. Blue on their own hand just built ships. They stopped researching their hull size. We're going to see an increase in this colony, which makes it really worth destroying as opposed to this one. Yeah, it's nice to be able to go in and show your strength, but what the hell? Might as well take the easy thing out first. And now we go on to the next turn. So phase through another activity phase, and the red fleet sailed through and destroyed Omicron. The battlecruisers fled before it, and good thing too. 2 battleships, 2 heavy cruisers, 2 carriers with 6 fighters. This wasn't something that blue could face, but here's the thing. I think throw everything blue has and their 2 base stations, and of course the 4 shipyards, and I don't think red could have possibly dealt with this. Take the battlecruisers out too, though. 4 battlecruisers out, it would have been a close fight, and red knew those were there. So maybe red should have taken their strike, but they've got all the cards in their hand right now. They might as well play for the long game if that's going to give them an advantage. The next thing is, obviously, this is going to fall next. And blue's just got to hope that they can destroy the red fleet and have enough left to come back. Because they're not going to outproduce red at this point. And red is obviously colonizing Antares and going off finding things. They actually found a warp point. There's nowhere it connects to yet that's on the board, so don't know how valuable that is yet. Alright, on to the next economic phase then. So no bids were made again. We're going into that first turn once more, except I've got to remember to drop a colony over here on Antares, so that red can continue to grow. Right now, probably the biggest factor is for both players is their maintenance costs have gotten so high, even for red, that they can't build much and they can't do much technology-wise. Red's gone all this time without a technology expense. They finally spent $5, got a 1. They were hoping maybe if they can get their defensive rating up, they'll be in better shape. But with all these ships to maintain, they're paying $18 on maintenance alone. They could build another battleship. Do they want to build carriers instead? They've already got 2 of them. The battleships are very, very resilient, though the more carriers you have, the better they are. On blue's side, they only pull in $26 and they're paying $12 in maintenance. That doesn't give them enough to even build another battlecruiser. So they built another they built their first heavy cruiser actually, and they're just giving this up. They're not going to try to defend it. If the base does damage, fine, but they're counting all their eggs in the basket of we have to defeat them at the home world, and if we don't do that, we have no chance. And if we do that, maybe we can win with a quick stab, because we cannot win any kind of long game. If we can't strike immediately afterwards, we're just screwed, because red will outproduce us immediately. Alright, so I'm going to load this one up, and we'll get on with what hopefully is going to be one of the last sequences of turns in the game.